Hey, how's it going, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. I'm going to be making a video today about my 2013 Volvo Polestar C30. I've had it now for probably 4 or 5 months, but going to get ready to sell it soon. I'm going to take it out today, get some nice pictures of it, get ready to list it online. Just going to document the whole thing. I actually got this car off of Copart. It's a salvage car, so we fixed it up, me and my dad. And then I drove it around for a little bit. I really love this car, but I'm actually just gonna start using my other car. It's time to get rid of this thing and just flip it and make some money off of it. So I'm gonna show you around it later once I get the pictures and everything, talk about it a little bit more, and then more of the backstory of how we got this car, fixing it, how much we bought it for, and my plans for selling it. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoy this video. And I'll give you a startup too, because I think this thing sounds amazing. All right, it's getting a little dark out right now, but here it is, my 2013 Volvo Polestar C30. So like I said, this is the Polestar version, so it has an upgraded tune. It obviously has the Polestar blue color, these black wheels, and then I got this cool Thule roof rack, which I think makes it look awesome. And of course, got the manual transmission. Some of these have automatic, but the manual just makes it way more fun. It's got the two-tone seats, 2 more seats in the back. And then this one actually came with K-Packs aftermarket exhaust, so it is stupid loud. It's front wheel drive. I think the tune gives it probably 270 horsepower. Yeah, this thing is super fun, really clean. Absolutely love this color. Windows are tinted a little bit too. And then also the US version of these, this is usually orange, but I actually got the Euro ones. I ordered them and I think they look super clean because now you just have this little orange one, but usually there's like a huge orange cover on this, but I think makes it look super nice. I love this car. It's so much fun, sounds amazing, looks really cool, especially with the roof rack. People always ask me like, what is this thing? And then as you can see, I can also blacked out the grille. I put the Polestar logo there instead of the Volvo one. And then when I get back home, I'll talk about the damage a little bit because I did mention this was a salvage car that we bought from Copart. So the damage was really like this back quarter panel, this wheel right here. But as you can see, it's 100% fixed, runs great. And this one's pretty loaded up too. It's got the blind spot in the mirror. It's got the sunroof, the two-tone seats like I mentioned. It doesn't have nav, which is like the one thing I think it doesn't. Everything else, this one's loaded up. So yeah, one more time, just to admire this thing. I think it looks amazing, and I'm definitely gonna miss it. So I'm gonna head home now, and then I'll talk a little bit more about how we got this car and more like the backstory, because I think it's pretty interesting. And like I said, it's from Copart, so maybe you'll learn a thing or two about like flipping cars online and making money that way. So stay tuned for that. Okay, so I'm back home now. Pulled up a bunch of information on my computer just to share with you guys, like where we got this car from, how we fixed it, what we bought it for, and how much we're into it. And rather than screen recording, I'm just gonna put my phone up and show you guys that way. It's gonna be a lot easier for me to edit and everything. All right, just for some background, I've always been a fan of the C30. This one here was the one I had before. It was my second one. T5, manual, R design. As you can see, I had the Thule rack on it as well. I love that car, but I was always on the hunt for a Polestar. So I was always looking every week, trying to find one, trying to find a good deal. And this one came up here with 15 hours left. It had $1,700 bid. So we were all over this one. And here's the car on Copart. Apparently they don't show you all the pictures and all the information anymore after it's sold. So I found this other website here, just typing in the lot number. So here it is, $6,800, 66,000 miles. This was way back in February of last year. But here you see a collision on the side and the rear end, and has a salvage title from Florida. Here we can look at the pictures. Here's the first one. Obviously it doesn't look too bad. Nothing really can tell other than back here, which we'll look at in a second. And here's the damage that I alluded to earlier. Obviously you can see the quarter panels bent in pretty good there. The wheels bent, the bumper's a little messed up, the tail light's cracked right here. But this door appears to be fine. And obviously these were the pictures that we were looking at. We didn't go and see it beforehand. So this is what we had to base our bids off of. And then here too, this was really interesting, this K-Packs logo. I did some research and apparently, here you can see, K-Packs is a company, it's a racing company that was doing mods for the C30 a few years ago. So apparently they did some tunes, they made an exhaust for it. Obviously this is damage right here. It needs a quarter panel, probably needs a bumper, needs a tail light, probably needs some suspension down here. And this is kind of what we took into consideration when we were figuring out how much we wanted to bid on this thing. And then there's some other pictures here, nothing out of the ordinary. And then on the inside here, you can see the driver's side, airbags, curtains, blue. So that means that it need a new headlining. No airbags here, no airbags here. And then also, I think we knew this when we bought it, but the airbag in the driver's side seat blue. So we need a new seat as well. And then back seats here, you can tell this is creased, obviously, because the current airbag blue. And then the engine bay, everything looks completely fine here. So yeah, we ended up winning the auction for $6,800. And then here's some pictures the drivers took on the truck. And then I want to say probably like out of the door, you know, with fees and then shipping, I think we're probably about $8,000 into this thing, which we thought was a pretty good steal. Then I want to say in like a week or two, we got like all the parts we needed. We got this quarter panel. I think we paid like $300 for it, and it came with the taillight, which is what we needed too. And even this little trim piece right there, it came with as well. So that was awesome. And then all the suspension and the stuff like that you can see is in the background. And then also the seat, which I mentioned before, the driver's seat, the airbag blue. So we just got a brand new seat to put in anyway. And then here's a picture that I took the day after I got it fixed. As you can see, no damage. Looks like it did before it was wrecked. So like I said before, we paid $6,800 for this car. Add on the fees and the shipping, and you're at about $8,000. And then with parts and labor, that was another $5,000. So that puts us at about $13,000 all in on this Polestar. And so we can go on Cars and Bids and some other websites here and see what they've been selling for recently. Here's a 2013 Polestar 6-speed manual with 91,000 miles, sold for $26,700. You can take a look at another one. This one's pretty recent, sold for $23,200. And this one has 48,000 miles. So obviously the previous damage and the salvage title are going to hurt the value of this car a little bit. Usually, like, my rule of thumb is salvage cars, they do usually 20% less. So I'm thinking for this car, probably knock off between $5,000 to $7,000. With the clean title, I think this one would probably be worth at least 27, 28, maybe even 30. All in all, I think this car was a pretty good deal. We're definitely not going to lose money on it. We're not going to make a ton of money, but I think we're going to make at least a little bit. And it was just such a fun car to drive for the few months that I owned it. And I actually have a ton of experience with buying cars off Copart and IA and fixing them and doing a bunch of rebuilds and parting stuff out. But one of my best scores was parting out a Camaro and then selling all this stuff on Facebook and eBay. So I'm probably going to make a video about that car next. So hopefully you stick around for something like that if you're interested. And thank you guys for watching this one. Let me know what you think down below. If you're interested in buying this car, reach out to me as well. And yeah, thanks again. See you in the next one.